Hey yo, what is good everybody? This is your boy Chad bringing y'all another video, man. And this video is going to be the iPhone 15 Pro Max 1 week later review. But this is not going to be an in-depth video where I go into vlog, res, and all this extra stuff. I'm going to try to keep this as short and simple as I can for just regular everyday users so you guys can understand. I'll come out with another video for more pro features and showing off different capabilities of the phone. But for this actual video, this is just going to be for regular users, just to give you guys just a everyday type of person feel. Yeah. So first off, this iPhone 15 Pro Max feels so good in hand. Coming from the 14 Pro, I did go from, a smaller size phone to the bigger. I had a 13 Pro Max, got the 14 Pro, and now I have the 15 Pro Max. The 13 Pro Max is way too harsh in hand, way too heavy, and I just didn't like it enough to keep it, so I downgraded in size. Although I love the 14 size, the battery life just wasn't it. It was still a heavy phone. Like, I felt like if I threw it at somebody's head, they would say, okay, this is like homicide, you feel me? But this 15 Pro Max, not only is it lightweight, but the feel of it is so comfortable to hold in hand. It's just a whole different experience. I don't think there's any iPhone that I can compare this to, except for maybe like an iPhone XS, what I have that's really cracked that I have. It's just in the closet. And I only say that because of it having like rounded edges. It's smooth. The 15 is just great to hold in hand. Another big plus that I love about the 15 Pro Max is the battery. Like I said, coming from the 14 Pro, the battery, I didn't even get a year into owning the phone, and it was already at like 85% maximum capacity, 86. With this 15 Pro Max, I, for real, wake up at night after charging it, take it off the charger. I don't use all that charge to 80% and do all this. I don't do none of that. I do a regular charge up to 100. And what's a good thing about the other iPhones, like lightning cable wise, you know how like you'll wake up and your phone will still be charging? With the USB-C, your phone basically, it just stops charging. It's on the charger, but there's no charge symbol, nothing. It just stops charging at 100%. But I'll take it off the charger in the morning. I'll get on FaceTime with my girl. I'll go down to work. I'll get on YouTube, get on social media maybe, type on it all day, FaceTime some more, use it all day. And I can get home in about 10 to 11 o'clock at night. Now, I get up for work at 7:30, basically 7 o'clock in the morning, have a full day of work, get off at 5. At 10, 11 o'clock at night, I still have like 35, 40% of battery left. And what's so crazy is, when I first was using this phone, maybe the first 2 or 3 days, the battery was lasting so long, I was trying to make the battery die by having like my flashlight on, brightness all the way up, playing a game on my phone. And yeah, I do that too. I play games on my phone too. This battery lasts forever. I kid you not, this battery lasts so long, it's ridiculous. Like, just imagine comparing it to a 14 Pro. It just doesn't even compete. I was going to get the 15 Pro, but I did enough research where it was just like, I just don't see the point of me having a phone that the battery's the same as the year before. I'd rather have me a nice battery, and this battery lasts all day. If I weren't to use my phone, let's say during the day, let's say I didn't watch YouTube or FaceTime during the day, I could for real wake up with this phone on 100%, go to sleep at night, and it'll probably be on 45, 50, wake up in the morning, continue going, and maybe charge it at work at like 1 to 2 in the afternoon the next day. But like I said, I'm kind of like a power user, a pro user. I do use my phone a lot. I don't run it into the ground like most people, like, this just isn't enough power. I don't do all that. I use my phone normally, and it lasts all day easy. So if you're somebody who's looking for a phone that lasts you all day, the 15 Pro Max is good. What I have seen Apple do recently, though, is they have started separating like the regular users, the regular plus users, the pro users, and the Pro Max users. They've all started to be fit into their own category. If you're somebody who doesn't care about Pro Motion, which is basically 120 hertz, you don't care about the best camera, you don't care about all the little nicks and gadgets that come, I would honestly recommend you, if you're a regular user, not a pro user, you're just happy to have an iPhone, you just really text, make phone calls, FaceTime, and use social media, and maybe use YouTube, get you a regular iPhone 15 Plus. You don't need a Pro. If you can't tell the difference, like my mom, right? I took her to the Apple store. I said, Mom, let's take a look at the phone. I want to see what the 15 Pro Max is like. I got the 15 Plus and the Pro Max and gave them both to her side by side and said, can you tell me what the difference is? She didn't even notice. My eyes immediately picking up the 15 Plus, that little 60 hertz screen with it looking like it's lagging or moving slow, it was an absolute no for me. I'm not going. Another thing I do like about this phone is the camera. Although I don't zoom in to like 3x and 4x, I use the basic camera functions. I don't want digital crop, digital anything. I use 0.5, 1, 2, and 5 times zoom, which is the new camera on the thing. I'm not going to say it's a telephoto tetraprism. I'm not going through all that because that's useless to you. Just know that if you hit the 5 times, it zooms in 5 times the zoom distance and it's clear. Okay? It's that simple. Now, don't think you can see from here all the way down the street to the grocery store and think it's still going to be clear, because of course it's going to show up blurry, but it does get the job done. The photos are crisp. They're not oversaturated, overly HDR'd. I hate HDR. I hate HDR photos. I hate HDR video because Apple tries to make it overly sharpened, overly saturated. The pictures are just clean. It's like they refined it from last year, which was like overly weird looking, and just made it perfect. Just perfect. And I personally turn off the HDR capability because, like I said, I just don't like it. But the photos are much crisper. They're more like real life. I like my photos to look like how I see out my eyes, and that's what it looks like. You know, it's not much different. If you're, like I said, if you're just a regular user, you're not going to tell the difference. You'll be better off getting the 15 Plus, and you'll be like, oh, my photos still look good. Like, you know, the Apple, if you're a type of Apple user where you could just take a photo and be like, oh, my pictures still look good, but you don't like actually notice detail or notice different things, just stick with the 15 Plus. Don't get the Pro Max. But if you're someone who notices the detail, you want the best camera like I do, I don't like to half do anything. If I want something, I'm going to get the best of the best. And this phone is the best. If you're coming from a 14, a 13, if you're coming from a 14, you may or may not decide to upgrade. I personally did, and this is the best purchase I've made in a long time. I was obsessed with trying to get this phone because it was on pre-order and back order, and I finally got it. Best decision I made. But if you're on like a 13, a 12, 11, and anywhere back from a 13, if you upgrade, you will notice a difference. Don't listen to these big YouTubers say there's nothing different and I don't know. Like, no, this phone is definitely different. Another thing that I really like about this phone, and it's just practicality, if you do get a 15, right, with the USB-C, I don't need any more cords. The only reason I had so many cords because Apple said, oh, you need a lightning cable. You need a lightning cable. Okay. Even at work, most people at my job have Androids. And all Androids really take USB-C. If I need a charger, I can find anybody. I can use the docking station at my job to plug up to my phone and charge it. I can charge it with anything. And that's what I love about this. I don't have to think about where I'm charging my device. I just charge my device. Everything is just so simple. It's an easy cord. You won't have to worry about buying this and getting it. All devices basically take USB-C, so you'll have a device to be able to do it. Now, one thing I can tell you about the new feature, the action button, right? Although they advertised it, and I do like the action button because it's a button that's on the phone, but I only use mine for ringer and silent mode. You know, other people may come up with these shortcuts and do flashlight. I think flashlight's pointless because when you're on your lock screen, it's right there in the corner. I think making it your camera's pointless because when you're on the lock screen, it's right there in the corner. And I think making it the shutter is pointless because once you open up the camera, you just tap the button. It's literally on screen, just tap the button. Why do you need to click a button? Just tap the button. Like, it's that simple. What do you need this special button for? You don't. So I personally only use the action button for the ringer and silent mode. Maybe down the line, I'll think about considering making a shortcut page or anything like that. But for the most part, I strictly just use mine for ringer and silent, and it gets the job done. I've seen videos, people say it's too high up, and you just slide your hand up and hit the button. Like, I don't understand why they're making this that big of a deal. Now, although I like my ringer being what it is, I can definitely see like maybe Apple later on in the future putting a different button down below, which has more than one tap, more than one press, long hold, short hold, double press, long, like that sort of thing, which would make sense. But I just don't need to do all that with my phone. All in all, this 15 is just, it's a really good phone. You know, Apple has kind of marked it off things, like I said, for if you're a pro user, if you're a regular user. And honestly, for if you're a regular user, you've kind of gotten to the point of every iPhone is good. It's just a matter of you want to take that step up and become into the pro. You want to come into the pro arena, or you just like a regular consumer who wouldn't notice half the features being different. Like me personally, I notice everything. I notice the hertz speed of the screen. I notice when, you know, the shutter may be a little slower. I notice when the pictures aren't as clean. I notice when it's not as crisp. And I love the bigger screen. And I definitely noticed the battery. A lot of people are like, just carry your charger around. Just bring a battery pack. Why would I buy a device that everywhere I go, I have to bring a battery pack or bring chargers? I'm always charging it. Like, at what point am I actually just using the phone? But this phone, it's hard to actually put into words. I don't want to sound like an Apple fanboy because I had an Android. Every video on this channel, besides this one here, was recorded on my Android. I had an iPhone 14 Pro and a Samsung Galaxy S21 FE or S22 FE. I forgot which one. But I sold that one to my girl's grandma because she needed a new phone. And this, you know, iPhone is now what I'm recording all my videos on. Because it has a good mic, great camera quality. And it's just going to be a daily driver. Like, to me, it's a little bit better than my Android. You know, although I still kind of want to get that S24 when it comes out just to see what it's talking about. I do really like this phone. Now, if you made it to this part of the video, this is the end of the video. Like I said, if you're a regular consumer, I hope this actually resonated with you if you're thinking about getting it. The price point, you know, I get it. It's an expensive phone, but you pretty much getting top of the line tech with a top of the line phone. If you don't want to spend as much, but you still want a good battery life and you're okay without the screen, you know, looking glitchy, if you're not going to notice, if you're okay with a great camera, you know, you still get USB-C, all that, just get a regular 15 Plus. I'm not even going to cap. I would get a regular 15 Plus if it at least came with 90 hertz. And if it came with 120, there would be no point of getting a pro phone for me. Just because of the fact that the battery's great, the screen refresh rate's up there. I don't really need the 5x zoom because what am I zooming into that far? But like I said, Apple has separated to where all these pro features that they're saying are pro features that come regular on other flagship phones. I noticed too much of that to actually switch and downgrade. At this point, I'm only going to buy Pro Max phones from Apple. And that's just my honest opinion. Like I said, it's just more screen real estate. It's just, this phone is just buttery smooth. The A17 processor, although it's not much difference than the 16, and somebody who's a regular user won't be able to tell, I can tell. The performance is better. I haven't had one hiccup, lag, overheating. The only time my phone gets remotely warm is when I'm charging it. And besides that, after about 5 to 10 minutes of it charging, the warm, you know, sensation is gone. Like, it's back to being a normal phone. But anyways, man, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is just going to be a regular, you know, short kind of video. I don't want this to be too in-depth because I'm going to try to come out with a pro version review for like pro users. And, you know, show the log features, the Pro Max, you know, photo taking, the raw photos versus just standard photos and things like that. But if you enjoyed the video, definitely leave a like down below. And as always, it's been your boy Chad. Out. Peace.